Hi, I'm Mark Jessup. I'm the creative director for Tinker House Games, and today I want to tell you about our game Dwarven Delve, which is what we're calling an action puzzle crawl. And the reason we're calling it action puzzle crawl is because it's like an action dungeon crawl, but it's also kind of like a puzzle game in the sense that you use rotating hex tiles to reconfigure a dungeon layout. As you rotate the dungeon in different ways, basically you manage an active and an inactive dungeon. And we have a lot of fun with that mechanic because you actually, the terrain features that are in the dungeon behave differently in-game depending on whether or not they're in the dungeon with you or outside the dungeon. So let's go ahead and do this. So as you can see here, when you rotate the tiles right away, you can see what your active dungeon is going to be. We're going to go ahead and shoot right down the middle. Or actually, let's go over here really quickly. Just by tapping, the dwarves automatically run to where you want to go. And each dwarf has a special ability they bring into the dungeon with them. So for instance, the one I just activated there was the Stonebreaker's ability to sunder certain walls. Now I know from playing this, from designing this level in fact, that what I want to do is I want to get all 4 of these markers here. You see one in each one of these corners, so that I can break this stone wall and actually get to where it's going. So I'm going to do this, go down there. These gear hexes you see, this is another puzzle element that we have. We have a lot of different elements in the game that are puzzle elements. This one is actually called gear hexes. What they do is they rotate all of their adjacent partners. See I'm getting attacked by some skeletons. You also see here, you see these purple hearts? This is because there's a necrocyst in play right now, which is the element that I just destroyed. There's another one over here. When I talked about those terrain features having different effects depending on if they're in the active or inactive dungeon, the necrocyst, when it's in the dungeon with you, makes it so you don't heal. The Cursed Shrine, when it's outside of the active dungeon, shoots you like it's just doing there. So I want to make sure and try to get that spell door going as fast as possible. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to continue to just kind of puzzle my way through the dungeon. 3 dwarves make it out of the dungeon, 4 dwarves go in, 3 dwarves come out. Fortunately, I was able to get through the dungeon mostly. We're shooting for the end of the year. Right now we're thinking that we have about 2.5 more months of development, 3 months of development realistically. We have all of our features in place mechanically. We just need to make sure that we've got, obviously there's a polish that still needs to be done. We have a lot of beta assets and stuff like that, but we expect to have it by the end of the year.